Actually, today and during the next webinar, we will cover not the model itself, but tools and methodologies that we can implement in order to manage the new relationship with external innovators. Together with me today, we have Chiara Ciardetti. She works as Open Innovation Projects Manager. What does it mean? It means actually that every day she has to create a dialogue with external people, specifically innovators that can belong to different kinds of ecosystems, industrial, academic, startups, financials, and so on and so forth. So for sure, communication is a challenge. And this is the reason because the title of the today webinar is the language of the innovation. So the key elements in order to guarantee the interaction, the dialogue, in order to start the communication in the proper way from the very beginning. So I leave the stage to Chiara, and we will have again at the end a Q&A session together.
Thank you, Lucia. Good afternoon to the audience and welcome to the webinar number 2. I'm pleased to grab your attention mainly on what the focus on innovation is for Electrolux. It's a sort of recipe which is composed by important ingredients to make it happen, make a new idea entering the funnel of the innovation and turn into a project, a product or a service for our companies and our consumer. The main ingredients are ideas that combine with a proper plan for execution of ideas and that helps the adoption of the ideas into the market create innovation. When we are able to replicate this formula into several times with a plan and we have a vision to make it happen, we talk about strategic innovation. The two ingredients needs a third element, which is the courage, which allowed individual within the company organization to take the lead and make ideas and the vision on ideas turn into the proper ingredient for the recipe of innovation. But the main question that we should address ourselves when thinking about ideas and innovation is which idea can turn into innovation, which real idea can be effectively becoming an innovation. Is an idea that creates a new value for consumer, not only today consumer, but also future consumer, to address new benefits of a new product, even to new consumer which today are not existing. It could be a new product, a new service, or a new experience. An idea can turn into innovation when the new value that is created for consumer can be paid back by a premium price from the end consumer. So it means that the end consumer finds the idea that we bring to the market relevant for their needs and is able to pay a premium price to have it. Innovation is also new business, so a new idea turn into innovation and into business when there's the ability from the company or from anybody as innovators to transform the consumer value into an economic value. As Lucia has briefly introduced me before, I'm daily experimenting the challenging process of negotiating with external proponents and innovators the value of the idea that they offer to us. So this is a demanding task that brought Lucia and myself over the last 3 years in the open innovation models of Electrolux, defining a mutual language which help the player negotiating an idea, so the innovator and the user of the idea, make them understanding what they are talking about, having a sort of common language, a common knowledge about the terminology and the area of an idea that we want together to explore. The innovation language for us aims at supporting the player in discovering the value of an idea. So daily, I'm trying to get in contact with the people wanting to describe their idea, creating a trust among us, helping following a guideline in negotiating and discussing the idea, a guideline which is made by deliverable. and helping each other to understand always that during the communication about the value of the idea, this is what we have as output. So never forget that the output of our communication must be a value for consumer. To evaluate an idea, we have also experimented that the most efficient way to do it is basing our communication on following principles, several principles. What we do during communication is we share how we evaluate together the idea. We explain the filtering deliverable. We explain to the counterparts which are the main criteria to evaluate an idea in the perspective of Electrolux, but also to convince the partner that the value that we achieve is mutually understood, and we build together the answers to each of the deliverables that are used to filter the idea and its value. How do we do it? We do it in a circular process. We continuously discuss through the same 4 deliverables with the aim to grab the most out of the understanding of each part of it and reloop it till we have fine-tuned the value as an output. And the second process that we follow for doing it is disclosing only the necessary information. This is called the onion approach. So looking at the process, how we do it, how do we filter in a circular path? We catalog, we select ideas according to 2 different typology of ideas, mainly regarding their nature, the content of the idea. One is the business idea typology, and the other one is called instrument. The first one contains new ideas to be filtered and evaluated for having into the market innovative solution for product or service. When we talk about instrument ideas, this consists of innovation brought to the end consumer through technology application, new process, new partnership, new subsystem, new material, anything which has to be applied into product to go down to the end consumer value. As you may see here, the deliverables are 4: offer description, consumer and functional opportunity, business or application opportunity, and finally the alliance viability. The discussion with the innovator goes across all the 4 of them and can go backwards and forwards according to the level of detail that layer by layer are shared together. This layer by layer approach introduces the second process that we use in evaluating idea is the onion approach. I briefly mentioned here that is based on 3 main principles. One is focusing on distinctive elements to be discussed regarding the idea. The second pillar is regarding an approach which aims to share only not confidential data. And the third principle is sharing information layer by layer. The onion approach will be part of the webinar number 3 in the plan for next Monday in the 2 sessions running in the morning and in the afternoon, and will be mainly consist of driving you through the understanding of the methodology that we use to evaluate the IP and manage the IP. It's nothing to do with the legal and contract approach of intellectual property, but tools and a guide and a clue to properly discuss, enter this delicate area of intellectual property without sharing confidential data. I wish, before entering into some example about how we evaluate idea through the main deliverable, I just want to recap your attention on the process, the filtering process that Open Innovation adopt along the Open Innovation funnel. So we now relate to the core of our activity, which is the filtering, what is here described in the yellow bubble. and is a process that allows us to ameliorate and understand the value of the idea before entering the idea into the internal standard company process that are called innovation activation process. Are process that we normally run in Electrolux as any other global company in order to make an idea entering a concept development, a product development, and then finally being produced and go to market. Of course, during the filtering process, which starts at the very early stage with the discussion with the inventor, some idea can be put in standby because they are not yet ready to be investigated or not fully aligned to our strategic innovation roadmap, or rejected because not relevant. Which are the deliverables that are used by the open innovation team during the evaluation process with the innovator? Are four. We today we will go through and describe in a little bit of more detail the first three of them: the offer description, the consumer opportunity, and the business opportunity. This is the first case, are the first deliverable to evaluate a business idea. So something which will probably consist of a product or a service for the end consumer. I will skip the alliance viability description in detail because this part aims basically at understanding which are the assets that the 2 or 3 partners discussing an idea can put on the table to make the idea happening. So any proposal I may make for you is just a specific case which deals with the profile of the partner and the idea which is under discussion. Of course, I'm at your disposal if offline after the webinar you have any specific question regarding each of these main part of the alliance viability: the partner objective, the capabilities, the IP models or potential proposal of IP models, and the alliance model, so the way that partners cooperate to make the product happening on the market. What will follow from now on is just a list of several examples to describe an idea through the 3 main filter deliverable, using product that we took from the market, so common product that you may see every day, and trying to use them as cases to illustrate how during a negotiation phase, a discussion phase with the innovator, we both try to formulate properly the description, the opportunity for the consumer, and the opportunity for the business. The first case is a manual razor, and gives you a quick hint how in just few lines a new product can be brought to the attention of the consumer, responding to 3 main questions: what it is, the new product, who is this for, so what is the consumer, and what problem does it solve. In the case of this famous Gillette Fusion 5+1, what we're talking about is a shaver that has an additional blade on the header that allows the user to refine the shaving on the delicate skin areas for a precision in result and comfort. In such short sentences, as a sort of pitches, let's say, you can clearly understand the product specification, the distinctivity element, why it's different from previous generation of razor, but why also is different from competition products, and who is that for. So identifying the typology of consumer, those having a delicate skin, solving a problem, which is doing a perfect shaving with precision, but still delivering a sense of benefit and comfort in result for those having a delicate skin. The second example on how to describe quickly and easily and with effective communication a new product on the market is the foldable cover, which is pretty much similar to any cover of tablet that are seen on the market because of the colors, because of the materials that the fabric is made of. But this is unique because it can be folded and turned on its back in order to support the tablet and help the user having a reading or a texting in comfort on the screen. So and also here you can easily recognize what is the product, who is that for, and what type of problem or benefit brings to the consumer. The third example is more fitting into the business area of Electrolux. Is a small domestic appliances, a multifunctional toaster. It would be interesting also when describing a new idea, giving also a name which in itself, in a nutshell, recall what it does or one of the main consumer benefit. As in this case, we like to call it American breakfast, and it's a new toaster that prepares egg and sliced bread in only 4 minutes at the morning, providing a complete breakfast for those consumers that have limited time in the morning. Another curious article and product on the market, which is very enjoying and I find it interesting to describe using the innovation language, is this wooden chopping board. For those who don't know, there might be some domestic cook that aims at perfection like the chef. So not only they want to have the perfect recipe and the perfect ingredient and the perfect recipe book and assistance, but they also need to be sustained during the preparation by excellent tool as well. So this chopping board is a chef chopping board, is a product which is on market, and also the brand you see, OCD Chef. So itself, the name of the board recalls already who's that for. Is a new wooden cutting board that has a dimensional reference to the surface to cut precisely any food, allowing the end user to prepare and serve perfectly as a chef. Now, what if I have an innovator who knocks at the door of Electrolux and is presenting me a new solution which is called thermochromic innovation, this person could try to offer me some innovation, describing it as it comes. So Coral is an innovative solution for material treatment based on thermochromic technology that detects the temperatures on the surface and changes its color. If you try to stick to the answer to the 3 questions, what it is, what it's for, what problem is solved, you may clearly understand through this statement that it's very difficult to understand what the value for the consumer is here and what could be the opportunity for Electrolux to buy in immediately this idea and develop internally to have a new product into range. So again, the innovation language here and this example aims to make the difference, to show how the same things described in 2 different ways can turn out as very interesting product or being rejected because it's too difficult to understand what it is. If we could reconsider the description of the idea, just mention it, probably we would call it safe cooking pan. And we would say that it consists of a set, we can keep the name Coral of course, and it consists of a new set of pans and pots that interact with the user, alerting when the accessories are hot and preventing burns and injuries. Of course, what is important to notice and to underline is the reason to believe for this happening. So it is mandatory also to describe that this is thanks to the thermochromic coating that change the pan color as the temperatures increase. So this element is the technology or the material used is the by we can achieve a new value for the consumer. It's not the innovation itself. The second filtering deliverable is the consumer opportunity. It aims to look at the value of the idea from consumer perspective. I've taken one of the famous cream that creates a fake tan. They're very much appreciated by Nordic country, where the sun doesn't shine so often, let's say, and with the same heat that it does in Italy, for example. So the project goal from both consumer perspective and company perspective, so who is bringing the innovation to a consumer, is to deliver a new product that make the fan take the right one for each type of skin. This is a very strong message. And the element of distinctivity of this cream versus the other cream which the consumer finds on the market is called unique selling proposition, and says that you can have your perfect tan skin colors as you've been kissed by the sun. So you can be at home, treat your skin naturally with a fake tan, and still pretending that you've been exposed to the sun during your holidays, summer holiday, 2 or 3 weeks in the south of Europe, for example. When addressing the main benefit of a new product to the consumer, we tend to divide them into different categories. One is called rational, and the other one is emotional, because both of them have an important effect on the purchasing behavior of the end consumer. Rational stands for anything underlying any benefit, any concrete benefit that the consumer can test, can quantify, can verify after the use of a product. Example of rational benefit for the tan cream that works gradually in 24 hours, is fast in 24 hours. So the consumer can put it on and 24 hours later check immediately if it works. And the consumer has tested the quality of the product, can even test how convenient it is. So can make a measurement between the benefit obtained versus the cost and the price that he sustained to have it. Emotional benefit are very important to engage the consumer, specifically if the consumer is a female consumer. So sometimes it's more important to give the evidence about how a new product can create new emotional value for the consumer. In the case of the tan cream, the fake tan body moisture cream, this can stand in the softness of the cream and the easiness of absorption by the skin, for example, and also the fact that it shades and creates a natural tan, which is tone by tone on the original skin colors, and finally it doesn't look fake. It doesn't look homogeneous in the same yellowing color, whoever will apply it, dark skin or lighter skin. Another case is the Campbell tomato soup. We have tried to reformulate the consumer opportunity here, why he should buy the Campbell soup if we were, of course, Campbell's and we want to relaunch the tomato soup. The goal here would be to provide a product that helps people in eating rich and fresh tomato soup anytime with fast preparation. The element of distinctivity stands in a simple recipe that makes you feel good, and from rational and emotional benefit standpoint, and it is easy to understand and even write on the label of the product, it contains a certain percentage of the C vitamin, antioxidant, is full of nutritional value and prevent heart disease. From emotional standpoint, is a light and low calorie dishes, it's creamy, it recalls the homemade mommy or granny and fresh tasty tomato soup, and is a single portion that avoids waste or leftover. If I now try to look at what an innovator can offer me in terms of consumer opportunity for a toaster, for example, the main claim on an innovative toaster would be to have as a project the opportunity from the innovator to sell to Electrolux the patent of the new toaster, or to find a producer that pays the royalty. That could be the main project goal from his perspective. And the unique selling proposition, so the element that he would point out to me as being the distinctivity element of this new solution, is that this is an innovative toaster. And of course, the benefit that he wants to deliver to the consumers are more in the area of being efficient product, a compact product, and a nice design. But Electrolux, being very much in the business of the small domestic appliances and precisely also into the toaster, would immediately detect that being efficient is just a standard, being compact is just what is already available on the market, and the most competitive pain points is definitely the design that different players in the same market apply to identify the brand differentiation. So the description of the consumer opportunity in the way that you see here on screen is not enough to explain the value for the consumer. Taking back the example of the multifunctional toaster, we would rephrase as follows. So the project goal we have is to shortcut the breakfast preparation for the consumer, having one product serving more food. So not anymore the toaster and the pan with the egg, but one unique product streamline the preparation of the breakfast. The unique selling proposition for the consumer is a complete breakfast in one go, where the product can serve easily in 4 minutes a full breakfast, reducing the numbers of accessory or product to be operated and managed during the breakfast preparation, being easy from emotional standpoint, being easy and safe for use also by children, have delivered a tasty and nutritional breakfast, and have toast and egg served contemporarily, so at the perfect temperature, both of them warm in the same plate. The third filtering deliverable aims to identify the business opportunity. And the first interesting step that anyone should follow, and the first question that should do himself to understand if there's a market opportunity, is to check what's out there, what is already existing or not existing, and within what is already existing, what makes my product different from the others. When looking at the example of the multifunctional toaster, of course, if we look at the market of the toaster, it's a mature toaster, it's a mature market. So our proposal would be hardly find a value, an extra value that help the consumer to understand what it does and let him assign a premium price to that product. But if we look at a new part of the range in the small domestic appliance called multifunctional small domestic appliance, then of course this product is unique, and it could also represent for a company a blue ocean to invest in order to identify and diversify versus the traditional market. When mentioning the strategic fit here, I have not include any specific fit to any of the company strategy, but of course the first thing that anyone should check is what is the innovation portfolio and roadmap that the company has, and trying to understand if the product offer fit into that strategy. Generally speaking, a strategic fit can also comply to the trend on information technology, on consumer behavior, market trend, or even micro and microeconomic trend that can also analyze to grab and capture some matching between the product and the consumer opportunity versus what is going on out there. The last part is the business model. The business model is how the partners get together in order to realize something. And the main standard business model that I mentioned here consists in getting people connected on the base of R&D collaboration, for example, or one be the suppliers of the other, one be the manufacturers, or even the distributor, in case the idea which is offered to Electrolux, in the case, just need only the brand and the distribution power as a multinational global company the way we are. This slide is just a summary which underline all the value in each of the filtering deliverable that we have mentioned. So it's a sheet that we use to collect information on the ideas, filter them, and promote them internally to the Electrolux stakeholder. And one of the ideas that Open Innovation has promoted internally and introduced into the innovation activation process, so ready for development, is the indoor built-in barbecue, which came as a proposal from a private innovator that, helped by the Open Innovation team, was able to turn the technical specification included into the patent, the main claim, into a finished product according to the description of the need coming from Electrolux to include a new product into our catalog, into our range. The same process of idea evaluation through the deliverable can be applied also when we are not talking about a product, we are not talking about a service, but we're talking about a technology or a material or a process. The description of the content of the deliverable is slightly different, but the process is the same. So we start with the offer description, we evaluate the opportunity of applying the solution in one product, and then we look at the opportunity to make it working, so to understand the functional element of this solution. The alliance viability also here represent the way the assets that are put on the table by the parties and how they can cooperate to go to production and to market. So taking the first deliverable called offer description in the case of a technology, for example, what we could be struggling as Electrolux to understand is a technology proposal described in this way, a sort of nanotechnology coating, where the innovator proposes an innovative coating with a nanotechnology composition that can be used on all the product in the market for improving the cleanability. If we ask ourselves what it is, who is this for, and what problem it solves, it's pretty much difficult to understand what typology of product this technology can be applied in or can become, and which is the consumer that could buy this new product, and what sort of problem this solution can solve to him. So there is a lot of effort and dialogue and discussion and agreement and disagreement sometimes that are running together between me, in the specific case, and the network of the innovator that I'm contacted by to get into the agreement of about the formulation of a new technology application in the example that I here describe. So from moving from the previous description to this final statement and assessment comes thanks to the trust, the description about the deliverable, and the mutual understanding and formulation of the final value of the idea. So in this case, what we should aim at is turning the technology into a product, so calling it with a specific name, but that is also commercially viable and understood by the end consumer. An anti-stick spray, for example, which is a coating spray developed using a nanotechnology formula that create a microfill on a treated surface and avoid the dirt to stain. So this resolves a specific problem, which is a problem of cleanability, and improve the process of cleaning. Looking at the functional opportunity description, which is the second filtering deliverable for technology, the same innovator could aim at finding an application on a product or a component, and his main unique selling proposition could be delivering to Electrolux an efficient solution to remove the dirt. Technical benefit normally sustained by the innovator of technology stand in test report and approval and technical assessment coming from university or research center that should sustain and give the value for the benefit of the solution. In the specific case, I've just expressed that one of the way that the innovator could describe a technical benefit is that 10 milliliter can last for 10 uses, or that the formula can be colored in different typology of colors and have also different flavors and aroma for a nice smell. Differently, if we still recall the anti-stick spray, we would describe the project goal, the unique selling proposition, and the technical benefit in this way. So the project goal would be use this spray to treat glass surface in home application. So be very precise about what the spray is, what it does, and what typology of glass it can treat. And the distinctivity element here for the end consumer would be buying something which allow a fast cleaning of the glass surface for shining result. it's recommended to be very precise and give an extended description about the technical benefits. So what does this formula do, how it is made, which are its principle and specification. So in the specific case, we could say that is a no water solution. So is a water-based formula that needs no additional detergent for cleaning the surface. His formula is not chemical, for example, so giving also the perception and the understanding that the product is safe for the environment. So gives also the message and the mission of sustainability of the company through its product. Any dirt can be removed with a soft cloth, for example. There are no residual of dirt on the surface. Can be a long-lasting protecting solution, and treat the surface once per month, which gives the easiness of the solution proposed. The last filtering deliverable is the application opportunity. Again, here we recommend to look outside, look how the technology applied into a consumable, in this case on a product, can deliver something which today is not existing, or that is existing but it can be better covered by new product. So in the case of application opportunity, looking at where today the solution can be applied in the home environment, it could be used for cleaning the window, the glassware, the lights, table, screen, or even eyeglass, anything which is made by glass. But if we look precisely at the future application into our business area, which is home appliances, specifically, for example, for the range of the cooking product, it could also be used for cleaning the glass of the oven door or cleaning the glass surface of the gas hob. Again, here, the strategic fit is the combination, the perfect matching between the solution and the technology applied versus main trend on technology, in this case, or consumer need, market trend, or precisely, again, one of the innovation area which are included into the technology roadmap of the company. When we conclude the first, the second, even the third loop of discussion and conversation with the innovator, and we are able to fill one slide with the proper value for each deliverable, then we are sure that we have moved from a situation where we feel the challenge about getting, knowing each other and focusing on the value, down to a pleasure of having understood that the object of our discussion has a potential to turn into innovation in terms of product or service. So we are happy to think that these tools, it's been useful for us till now, and could also be useful for you as a company or as an open innovation manager, or even as an innovator, to better filter and bring innovation into the market. I have concluded, and I just remind you our email address, mine and Lucia, and the openinnovation@electrolux.com address, where we are able to respond to any of your questions.